Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is February 18th, 2025, and today we're gonna be talking about Jose Luis Munuera Montero, a referee who has been suspended, has received death threats, and now is being investigated by the Spanish Football Federation for one reason and one reason only. Because he did his job and he dared to make the right call against Real Madrid. Because this exemplifies what Real Madrid has been doing throughout their entire history, which is controlling everything that goes on in La Liga, from putting people that benefits them in power positions, like Rafael Luzan, the president of the Royal Spanish Football Federation, a self-declared Madridista, and a personal friend of Florentino Perez, who Perez took to the side during the Spanish Super Cup and told them to fix the refereeing problems, to Javier Tebas, La Liga's president, who's also a self-declared Madridista. And don't get it twisted. Yes, he might be beefing with Florentino Perez yet, but Tebas is still a Madridista who does everything in his power to help Madrid. And now they're even trying to install Mateo Laos as the president of the Committee of Referees, or the CTA. But of course, we're going to be talking about that in a different video. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and today we're going to be talking about Jose Luis Munuera Montero, the referee who has now been officially suspended or excluded out of next week's fixtures for doing one thing and one thing only, which was his job, and for making the right call against Real Madrid. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, Jose Luis Munuera Montero is the referee who reffed the match between Real Madrid and Osasuna over the weekend, where Real Madrid drew 1-1, dropping 2 points, allowing Barcelona to surpass them on La Liga table. And during this match, he dared to show a red card to Jude Bellingham, a player who has been berating referees all the entire season, calling them pieces of shit, telling them fuck you and fuck off. And while in keeping with tradition of berating referees, Jude Bellingham insulted Jose Luis Munuera Montero, telling him to fuck off. And as a result, the referee showed him a red card. And now there has been a huge backlash against the referee, even though there's absolutely nothing controversial about this call. This is not a 50-50 call. This is not a mistake by the referee. This is a clear red card. If you insult the referee, you get a red card. It's as simple as that. So I don't even know why there's controversy in regards to this call. But of course, it's Real Madrid. So of course, there's not only controversy, but there's also a huge backlash, because Jose Luis Munuera Montero has been excluded out of all the fixtures the upcoming weekend. And of course, this is the second referee to be punished this way. The last referee was to be punished or to be excluded from fixtures was Alejandro Muniz Ruiz. He was the referee that reffed the match between Real Madrid and Espanyol, who missed a clear red card against Kylian Mbappe. And of course, when it was announced that he was going to be excluded from the fixtures, I came here on the channel and I applauded that decision, because I said, yes, finally, we should be punishing referees for making the wrong calls. But here, Jose Luis Munuera Montero did not make a wrong call. He made the right call, but yet he's being punished for it because, of course, it was against Real Madrid. Now, this is not the first time that a referee has been punished for making the right call against Real Madrid. You might recall several seasons ago where Javier Estrada showed a red card to Ronaldo, and as such, he was banned from refereeing any Real Madrid matches after that. Because, ladies and gentlemen, this is what Real Madrid does. When referees dare to make the right calls against them, they get punished. This is what Real Madrid does. This is how they look to manipulate the league, whether it's through Real Madrid TV and their videos putting pressure on referees, whether it's through putting people in power that benefit them, like Rafael Luzan as the president of the Royal Spanish Football Federation, who Florentino Perez took to the side during the Spanish Super Cup and told them to fix the refereeing problem, whether it's putting Javier Tebas in power, who's also Madridista. And of course, as we're going to talk about in the next video, they're trying to put Mateo Laos as the president of the CTA. Now, that is not all, because Jose Luis Munuera Montero has received even more backlash because now the referee has been receiving death threats on his social media accounts. They are not only threatening his life, but they've even gone as far as threatening his kids and his wife. These are the kind of animals that we're dealing with as far as the fan base. But it gets worse because it's reported that reporters from Madrid went to Jose Luis Munuera's home. They took pictures of the house and they published it on social media, clearly putting the life of the referee at risk because now all these crazy fans who are making these death threats know where he lives, know what the house looks like, and they can easily go there and, God forbid, harm him or his family, because this is how low and disgusting this club called Real Madrid is. But it doesn't stop there, because yes, there is more. Jose Luis Munuera Montero is going through it because his decision to make a right call against Real Madrid, because now the Royal Spanish Football Federation have announced an investigation into the referee for a company that he owned called Talentos Sports. Now, if you don't know what is going on with Talentos Sports, it appears, or at least this is what the Royal Spanish Football Federation are claiming, is that Jose Luis Munuera Montero owns a consulting company, and that this consulting company was getting consulting for clubs such as Atletico Madrid, Manchester City, amongst other clubs. So they're investigating a conflict of interest because Jose Luis Munuera Montero, as an active referee who's reffing matches against, who's reffing Atletico Madrid matches, is also getting paid, or his company is getting paid by Atletico Madrid. So this is a clear conflict of interest, and this is why he's being investigated. Now, does this sound familiar? It should be, because this is the same thing that happened with the Negreira case. Now, if you don't know what the Negreira case is, because 99.99% of Madrid fans who scream Negreira, Negreira have absolutely no idea what happened during in that case. But of course, as obedient dogs who are told to bark, they bark the name Negreira over and over again. So let me just recap very quickly. Now, Barcelona hired Negreira, who was a retired referee, they hired his company, the company of Negreira, who was a retired referee, to consult for the club. Now, of course, while this was happening, Negreira was the vice president of the committee of referees, and therefore a criminal investigation was opened into Barcelona, including the prosecutor's office investigating Barcelona for sports corruption. They also tried to pin bribery charges on Barcelona, which fell apart. And 2 years into the investigation, there's absolutely no evidence that Barcelona bribed any referees or that Barcelona influenced the competition through the hiring of the company that was owned by Negreira. So this is exactly the same thing, because like when this case was first announced, I explained to you on this video, or multiple videos, that this is a normal thing that's done in La Liga. All La Liga clubs hire former referees to consult for them, to explain to them how the rules are interpreted, to explain to them any new rule updates, and to explain to them things like how referees rule. Like, hey, be careful. This referee doesn't like when players talk to him, so maybe you should instruct your players not to talk to the ref, or they might get yellow cards. All the clubs do it. In fact, Real Madrid do it with this guy, Carlos Mejia Davila, who is a retired referee who's on the payroll of Real Madrid, and of course, whose wife is, you might recall this from a previous video, Yolanda Parga, who is a member of the executive board of the Royal Spanish Football Federation. But of course, nobody is going to investigate this clear conflict of interest where you have someone on the payroll of Real Madrid married to a member of the executive board of the Royal Spanish Football Federation. But let's not deviate from the topic. Let's get back at the topic at hand, because the story of Munuera being investigated gives us two conclusions. A, it highlights how Barcelona are consistently being persecuted by the powers in Spain, the centralized powers in Madrid, because they detest Barcelona, because it's a symbol of Catalan identity, and it's the symbol of the Catalan movement and aspiration to separate and become an independent nation apart from Spain. How do you say this represents that? Well, because it's very easy. In a Negreira case, which is exactly the same as the Munuera case, even though I actually think it's more egregious, because Negreira was a retired referee when Barcelona hired him, or when Barcelona were paying his company. And you might say, but he was the vice president of the CTA. Sure, but he was 1 out of 5 vice presidents of the CTA. And in fact, many people who worked with him testified that he actually had no powers. His role was completely honorary. And in fact, he didn't even get paid a salary. And here in the Munuera case, he's actually an active ref who is getting paid by, well, allegedly by Atletico Madrid, who he refs their matches. So I think that Munuera case is more egregious, but nonetheless, the point is that when a Negreira case broke out, that was immediately referred to the prosecutor's office. There was a criminal case. The prosecutor's office has been investigating Barcelona, criminally speaking, and Barcelona's reputation has been tarnished. But when it comes to Atletico Madrid, who are doing the same exact thing, it's just an investigation by the Royal Spanish Football Federation. No prosecutors involved, no court is involved, no judges involved, and the press is not even talking about it. So this just goes to show the double standard that exists for Barcelona. But this story also highlights another thing, which is Real Madrid's grip or power grip on La Liga, because it's not a coincidence that all of a sudden Jose Luis Munuera Montero, who has been a ref for 8 years right now and who's owned this company for over a year, all of a sudden he's getting investigated right now after he received the red card. After he gave the red card to Bellingham. That is not a coincidence, because this is a clear message by Real Madrid to the refs. You either fall in line or you're gonna have repercussions, and they're gonna be very serious repercussions, including investigations into you, death threats, putting your life at risk, and suspending you for matches. But yet, people are gonna come here and tell you that it's Barcelona who are getting favored by Real Madrid, that it's by the referees, that it's Real Madrid who are the victims. And of course, having heard all of this, I ask you, who do you think is truly favored by the referees? Let me know in the comment section.